throwing punches. But look at him, look at him. As soon as the referee stops the fight, he's like, I'm fine. What the f are you doing?
Hey there, fight fans. Welcome to today's deep dive into some of the most controversial moments in UFC history. We've all witnessed heart-pounding, intense action inside the octagon. But sometimes the fight isn't decided by the fighters alone. Sometimes it's the referee who has the final say. And let me tell you, there have been some awful early stoppages that have left fans, fighters, and even the refs scratching their heads. From legends like Robbie Lawler to rising stars, today we're talking about the top 10 worst early stoppages in UFC history. The controversial stoppage between Robbie Lawler and Ben Askren at UFC 235 has become one of the most talked about moments in UFC history.
That was a bad stoppage. It happens. What are you going to do? It sucks. It was a good fight.
Lawler, the fan favorite welterweight, found himself caught in a bulldog choke by the undefeated Askren. Referee Herb Dean, thinking Lawler had gone unconscious, stepped in to stop the fight. The issue? Lawler's arm shot up almost immediately after the ref called it, clearly signaling he wasn't out cold. Fans went wild, questioning the decision and debating whether Lawler was robbed of his chance to fight back. Even Lawler himself was visibly frustrated as this early stoppage robbed him of a possible comeback victory. This stoppage remains one of the most heavily debated calls in UFC history. Did Herb Dean get it wrong, or was it simply a case of the ref playing it safe?
Bad stoppage. And we had a debate, me, the referee, and the commission over being choked out. I've been choked out many times before, too. And one of the things that you don't do is jump right up and say, what the fuck did you just do? It never happens that way.
Now, speaking of controversial stoppages, let's move on to another fight that left fans fuming, but this time it involves some serious accusations about the referee's personal habits.
I thought it was bad. He hasn't even put his full arm into him, he's putting his forearm into the shots. They're not big shots by any mean, but they're shots that are adding up. If the fight was stopped before Dominic Cruz came back to his feet, I would still be angry that it was an early stoppage. I would maybe be less angry than I am now.
At UFC 249, Dominic Cruz, known for his exceptional recovery skills and unbreakable will, was in a championship bout with Henry Cejudo. Cruz had already been dropped by a brutal knee, but as he attempted to get back on his feet, referee Keith Peterson decided it was enough and stopped the fight.
And still, Henry Cejudo retains in defense number one.
I don't know about that stoppage.
He did get hurt with the knee, but he looked like he was trying to defend himself.
But here's the thing. Cruz was starting to recover. He wasn't out, and many fans felt he deserved a little more time.
He was just trying to get back up.
He was trying to get back up.
It didn't look like he was out, that's for sure.
Cruz, never one to hold back, accused Peterson of smelling like alcohol and cigarettes, making it clear that he believed the stoppage was a hasty one. The outrage was palpable, and this moment quickly became one of the most infamous in UFC history, as fans were left questioning the timing of the stoppage and whether Cruz's career was unfairly cut short by a controversial ref decision.
The way that fight went, I'm on my feet.
You're trying to get up.
I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. I'm up, and there's 1 second left on the clock. And all nonsense, Keith Peterson is a complete up for that.
Yeah.
It's the only sporting event in the world going on. There's 1 second left on the clock. I'm on my feet. I did my job as a fighter, and he failed as a referee. A complete failure. And on multiple occasions, he's kept doing it.
From one heated controversy to another, let's talk about a moment that left not only the fans, but also the fighter himself absolutely livid after the stoppage. Magomed Ankalayev's fight against Ion Cutelaba was filled with drama and confusion, especially when referee Kevin McDonald decided to call the fight in the first round. Cutelaba had been rocked, sure, but he wasn't out of it. He was playing possum. a tactic fighters sometimes use to make their opponents think they're hurt, only to strike back when they least expect it.
Stops it, and Cutelaba disagrees. Kenny McDonald stopped it. Cutelaba was on his feet.
The issue? McDonald thought Cutelaba was out on his feet and stopped the fight. But Cutelaba wasn't out cold. He was moving, trying to stay in the fight. After the stoppage, Cutelaba erupted in fury, demanding an explanation, and the fans weren't much kinder. To this day, this remains one of the most contentious stoppages, and many argue that Cutelaba was denied his chance to recover and turn the tide of the fight.
It was a really bad stoppage this past weekend in the UFC. Really bad. Really bad.
That gets so much controversy, huh?
Oh, this one was a bad one. It was the worst stoppage I've ever seen. Referees fuck up sometimes. He thought the guy was hurt, and he wasn't hurt. He was faking it.
But what happens when a referee steps in, thinking a fighter is defenseless, but the fighter is still actively trying to defend themselves? Let's take a look at one of the most debated calls in recent memory. Jared Cannonier's fight against Nasruddin Imavov at UFC Louisville in 2024 had fans on edge when the ref decided to step in and stop the action prematurely.
Some will question the stoppage, but Nasruddin Imavov sits atop the octagon.
I'm gonna be honest, I love Jason Herzog, he's my friend. You stopped it a little too early, dude.
Cannonier had been rocked, but was still defending himself when the referee jumped in. This didn't sit well with many, especially after Imavov admitted that he too felt the stoppage came too early. Cannonier, clearly frustrated, felt robbed of his chance to recover, and fans were quick to criticize the referee's decision. This stoppage became one of the most talked about in recent UFC history, with many arguing that fighters should be given a little more leeway, especially when they're still actively defending themselves.
Jason Herzog with the shittiest stoppage in UFC history. You just ruined a main event. You just ruined Jared Cannonier's chance to freaking battle back. You just took away Imavov's clean KO. Imavov could have had a KO without controversy. Jared Cannonier could have been able to actually fight more and maybe get out of that moment.
I think the stoppage for Cannonier was early, but that weren't just because Cannonier could have recovered because he's shown it in the past. I think 99% of the UFC fighters would have recovered from that position, or not recovered to not lose the fight. Imavov could have easily come on and just continued to a little flurry and got him out of there. But I'm saying in that moment when the fight was stopped, did it need to be stopped? Probably not.
Now, let's turn the clock back to 2009, where a controversial stoppage led to one of Dana White's most famous rants about the worst referee in MMA.
Does anybody here disagree with me that Mazzagatti is a fucking toolbox? If you ever watch Mazzagatti ref a fight, he fucking stands there like this. He's doing his fucking grocery list, thinking about did he TiVo the fucking his favorite show.
At UFC 104, Cain Velasquez faced Ben Rothwell in what was supposed to be a dominant showing from Velasquez, and that's exactly what it was.
Cain drags him right back down. He's gonna make it to round two, it looks like. Cain just turns it on right now. Dominated. He's still trying to make his way to the fence, the wall walk back up to his feet.
Until the ref stepped in too soon. Rothwell had been knocked down, but was trying to get back up when referee Steve Mazzagatti immediately waved the fight off. Velasquez didn't even get the chance to finish what he had started, and Rothwell was left stunned. Dana White, infuriated by the call, publicly criticized Mazzagatti, calling him the worst ref in MMA.
But if you thought that you could...
Nobody's given this guy more opportunity than me.
But if you thought you could get him removed from being involved at all with any UFC event through the Nevada State Athletic Commission, would you take a civil suit against him?
I would do it in a minute. Yeah. I would do everything in my... All I can do now is talk. You know? I don't know how many more times we can say it. I don't know how many more times this guy can just look bad and fuck up, and it's just fucking crazy, man.
It was a rare moment where the ref's decision overshadowed the actual fight, and the controversy surrounding Mazzagatti's stoppage sparked debate that still lingers in the MMA community today. But sometimes the controversy comes not from a quick stoppage, but from a referee's decision to let the fight go on too long. Let's take a look at a fight where mercy, or a lack of it, became the main talking point. When Dan Ige faced Sean Woodson at UFC 303, fans were shocked by an early stoppage in round 3 that many felt was premature.
But I mean, he's getting up at the moment. He's getting up at the moment they stop the fight. That's a bad stoppage.
Woodson had shot for a takedown, but Ige landed some powerful hammer fists. The referee stepped in to stop the action, but at the time of the stoppage, Woodson was still holding his position and defending. Joe Rogan, among others, immediately criticized the decision.
There's moments in fights where referees make mistakes, where a fighter's whole career just changes, just flashes before their eyes.
With Dan Ige.
Yes.
He didn't have to stop the fight.
There was a bad stoppage.
Yeah.
It was a bad stoppage.
Calling it one of the worst stoppages in recent memory. Fans felt that Woodson wasn't given a fair shot to continue, and the debate over whether the referee acted too hastily remains heated to this day.
I hurt him pretty bad. I was ripping his body, and he shot for a takedown, which you never see him do, and I would have probably just kept hitting him. And I don't get to choose when the ref jumps in, so...
I agreed that the Ige fight was stopped too soon.
Now, let's talk about a fight where a veteran fighter was left questioning the referee's decision after a quick stoppage, despite his years of experience in the cage. At UFC 291, Derek Lewis swarmed Marcos Rogerio de Lima early in the fight, landing a few heavy shots. While de Lima was clearly hurt, some fans felt that the referee stopped the fight too quickly. Especially considering de Lima's veteran status. Many argued that with his experience, de Lima should have been given more time to recover and mount a defense. Although most fans sided with the referee's decision for safety reasons, there was still a lingering sense that de Lima was robbed of a fair chance to recover and continue fighting. The debate over whether veteran fighters should get more leeway in these situations continues to divide fans. But what happens when a fighter is dominating and their momentum is abruptly halted by an illegal strike? Let's break down a situation where a fighter's dominance was overshadowed by a disqualification. John Jones was on a tear in his fight against Matt Hamill at the Ultimate Fighter 10 finale, dominating the entire bout until disaster struck.
Jones likes the throws. Nice trip. There's some dribbles, a double leg takedown kind of guy, full mount treble for Matt Hamill.
Hamill doing nothing. He really can't do anything. He try to hip escape because if he gets his hands
in the form of an illegal 12-6 elbow. Jones had been in full control, but when he landed the illegal blow, the referee stepped in.
Big elbows.
No, you can't do 12-6.
You're done.
That's it.
It's all over.
Wow.
Matt Hamill has been defeated by John Jones.
And after a consultation, the fight was ruled a disqualification. Jones had no choice but to accept defeat, and fans were left in disbelief.
Jones. Therefore, the winner is Matt Hamill.
Wow.
The controversy surrounding this stoppage continues to this day, with many believing that Jones was unfairly punished and that Hamill wasn't saved, but rather benefited from a technicality.
How does it make you feel to know now that, that elbow you threw against Matt Hamill would be legal right now?
It just makes me wish disqualification was overturned. And on the other hand, I accept the move more than ever now, and I've been training extensively on different 12-6 elbow attacks. And I'm excited to hopefully be one of the first UFC athletes to legally display it in Madison Square Garden.
But not all controversial stoppages come from illegal strikes. Sometimes it's the moment of mercy that stirs up the most debate. Let's take a look at one of those fights next. When Petr Yan faced Jose Aldo at UFC 251, fans were torn over how long the fight should have gone on.
Jose Aldo is in yellow, Petr Yan is in black.
He seems to have recovered. If it was a broken rib, I don't think he'd be moving like this right now.
Fingers, Peter.
They're standing right there, and they're making each other miss. I mean, this is 24, but it seems, I don't know, Aldo seemed to get my attention.
Aldo included the WEC 15.
We see Yan constantly walking him down that, Oh!
Oh, that was a big one.
He's got the leg, beautiful. Look at that. That was nice. Trying to pass the guard. That's a heavy shot.
The elbow. So it appeared.
Yeah.
Yan had unleashed a barrage of strikes, and while Aldo was covering up and moving, many felt the fight should have been stopped earlier. On the flip side, there were those who felt the fight continued because the referee didn't want to rob Aldo of a chance to recover. This stoppage sparked intense debate over whether mercy was shown to Aldo or whether the referee allowed him to take unnecessary punishment.
I'll do it! Petr Yan is an undisputed world champion at 27!
It remains one of the most debated moments in recent UFC history.
Let's talk about fight stoppages, because this past weekend it was a major talking point in your division when Yan was playing bongos on top of Aldo's head. Now let's take a trip back in time a little bit when you were fighting Cejudo for said bantamweight championship.
Actually, a real way you can know when a fighter's in danger in there, and that's by having your head be a bongo yourself. That's the only way. The only way to know when to stop a fight is that you've been in there and had your head smashed in the corner of a fence and you can't move. And, when you see certain guys, like let's say I'm fighting Aldo, let's say Yan is fighting Aldo, right? Yan's just doing his job and he knows, all right, it's my job to pour it on because I can see he's quitting, right?
And finally, one of the most hyped fights in UFC history ended in just 48 seconds. And the stoppage itself became as controversial as the outcome. Let's break it down. In one of the most shocking moments in UFC history, Ronda Rousey was demolished in just 48 seconds by Amanda Nunes.
Utilizing that reach early, mixing things up.
She tagged her. She tagged her again. She hurt her. Nunes with a big right hand, Mike, and again, she hurt her again. Ronda's in trouble. She's in trouble, Mike.
Over the top.
Big trouble.
Can't she finish it right here, right now?
Big trouble, Mike. She's walking Ronda down. She tagged her again.
Over and over. Amanda Nunes. Domination.
That's it.
Just like that.
Wow.
While Nunes' performance was nothing short of incredible, many fans felt the referee stopped the fight too quickly, especially considering Rousey's history of recovering in previous fights. The debate over whether Rousey was unfairly denied the chance to fight back raged for years, and to this day, fans remain divided. Some argue that Rousey's star power led to her being given a second chance, while others believe the referee could have allowed the fight to go on just a bit longer.
And you see Amanda Nunes come in, and I watched that fight, and I'm looking at the capabilities that Amanda had versus what Ronda.
Well, what happened with Ronda was very unique in that she came in and put this thing on the world stage. This thing being women fighting.
Women fighting, yeah.
She put it on the world stage.
Correct.
Right? At a level that nobody else could have ever done it.
And still the undisputed UFC bantamweight champion of the world.
Amanda, you knew coming into this fight that you had outstanding punching power. Did you expect the fight to go down this way?
I really trained very hard. Like another level. This moment is my moment, Like I said, she had her time. She did a lot for this sport. Thank you, Ronda Rousey. But right now, I'm the champion.
Well, that's it for our list of the top 10 worst early stoppages in UFC history. What do you think? Were there other controversial stoppages that you think should have made the list? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing UFC content. Hit that bell so you never miss an upload, and stay tuned for our next deep dive into the most shocking moments in UFC history. Until then, keep watching, keep fighting, and as always, stay tuned for more.
He took so much fucking punishment in this fight. I'm freaking out a little bit, man. I don't like it. This reminds me of the kind of the fight where the fight's over and he walks them back and fucking dies.
Yeah.
And I think that fucking Herb Dean should have stopped it in the fourth round.
Yeah.
He was wobbling all over the
When he had him up against that cage and that's when he had it.
He should have stopped the fight right there. When this fight's over, no stopping, no talking. Yep. Get this kid in an ambulance and get him the fuck out of here. Hey guys, I want him
out of here, don't talk to anybody, and go right to the fucking hospital, man. All right? All right? I'm just a little worried about these two. That was a fucking war, yeah. Should have been stopped in the fourth round.
Fourth round.
Yep. I agree.